you. Right now, I want to send you this to California. I thought you were
I'm not gonna do that, but I think after all this is empty, this has to be changed, because this makes that really good.
I agree. You will be very.
All right. So you said you had something to talk to me about.
Oh, just maybe the day after Thanksgiving off. We do ask you about that, right?
Yeah, yes, and I will talk with Josh. I can't, Josh can write it down, right?
Yeah.
But I can't say 100% yes or no right now, because if I say yes, and then I don't know what's going to happen come the fourth quarter, right? Are you going to have only 3 managers in the store and we have to do something? Are you going to have the same managers you have now? Then
You're gonna have a new GM.
what? What'd you say?
You're gonna have a new GM.
Gosh. Right. So, but yeah, it's something that you can ask for off when it gets closer.
Okay. I didn't know if we had to do it like way ahead of time or.
No, we can note it. Unless you were like, the one thing that I would do like way ahead of time, like if you were we're planning a trip, right? If you were gonna plan, like if you were going over Thanksgiving on a cruise or something, right? And you had to buy tickets and airfare and all that kind of stuff, and you couldn't wait, then that's the part where we would be like, yeah. But if you just want it off because you just want to go shopping, or it's just
No, God, no.
Just-
It's because like family. Obviously, this year I couldn't because it was like a last minute thing. But they were talking about either Thanksgiving or Christmas going across the state. Like where are they all now? There's some in Ludington, Grand Rapids, like the whole.
So
yeah.
you just need just the day? Are you just saying like
I would probably
Thanksgiving, Friday?
like the days before Thanksgiving, driving over there, spending the time at Thanksgiving, coming back the day after.
Yeah. Just when it gets closer, I don't know. Did you have a problem doing November schedule or Thanksgiving schedule this year?
Okay.
No. So
And there was just a day in April for my back.
Good night.
What? Well, they want to do the one with 4 shots, and they do it through the sides. And
Just
Like-
text me the day.
okay, I got the card. I'll just take a picture.
all right. And then
Okay, that's over with. So, what happened the other day with the dishes and Grace?
Dishes weren't done yet. Grace came in and just was like, rah, rah, rah. After a certain point, I stopped listening because I didn't appreciate the swearing. No. And then I asked Sebastian, I was like, okay, so Tim doesn't do them, will you do them? He goes, what about that catch? And no, I got you. Can you go do them? Yeah. And then I didn't hear Grace say she was doing them.
So what? So Tim normally does dishes, right?
Yeah. Now,
So-
usually I try to avoid it if I can.
Or having Tim do it?
Yeah, because he's
What?
always doing it.
Does
No.
he complain about it? Does
No.
he not like doing it?
He doesn't.
So, this is what I've told everybody else. Tim and Dan make more than any other crew person in the store.
Okay.
And it's for that very reason. Because they do extra stuff and they're knowledgeable. So if they're scheduled for dishes, unless it's something major, have them do dishes.
Okay.
Yeah, or unless, if they're coming to you and they're like, who does dishes? Dan? Tim. Okay, so if Tim's coming to you and being like, hey, I don't want to do dishes every day,
Yeah.
then that's a talk with Josh. But if he's scheduled for it and he's not complaining about it,
Okay.
maybe he likes to do dishes. I mean, right?
That's like, I've even had Kaylin, she goes, I really don't want to be in the window today. Can you put me somewhere else? Absolutely.
Right, because like you just have to think of like maybe you wouldn't want to do dishes every day, and that's why you're probably doing it, right? Because you wouldn't want to be stuck back there doing dishes
Yeah.
every day. But I would actually love to put me on dishes every day. I'll do dishes every day back there, and I ain't got to talk to no customers. I can just get my dishes
When
done.
it was like overnights and closes, I mean, that's what I did. And like I was back there by myself. I asked if can I play music. They're like, as long as it's not blaring and appropriate. I'm like, oh, absolutely. I got the perfect station for that.
Okay. So, like, I kind of talked with Josh a little bit today. We talked with Karina, just kind of talking with everybody about the fact of just making sure that we're working together and we are we're being that leader in the restaurant, right?
Yeah.
So, making sure that dishes are getting started when they need to, and if it's not, so because you didn't have Tim do it, so nobody started them just for that reason.
At that moment, yeah.
Right. So, you want to, I don't know what the time was. I don't know if Grace was just, I'm going to talk to Grace today too, just so you know, but I didn't know if she was just upset because there's the typical stuff that happens, right? It happens every day, this, and this, and then all of a sudden it just didn't happen. I don't know if it's something that is always happening. So, I mean, are dishes getting done most of the time?
All the time.
All the time. Okay. So, I don't know. I don't know if Grace was having a bad day or what it was. Or again, if it was just, right, it was something out of the norm, and she was just kind of wondering why, and she didn't handle it the correct way.
What should have been said, like, hey, why weren't dishes started instead of the screaming?
Yes.
I don't handle screaming well, so I kind of block it out.
Yeah. No, you're correct. It should have been handled that way. But back to kind of getting away from the dishes, right? Making sure that we are, running the shift and leading the shift, and having that conversation with, Tim. I mean, have that, you do dishes every day. Do you like doing dishes every day? Do you want somebody else to do it? And if he doesn't say anything, have him do dishes, right?
Sometimes I'm like, so your scheduled dishes, do you want to do them? He goes, yeah, I'm okay with it. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, see, he probably likes to get off of the station and just do dishes. And I'm going to tell you right now, your dishes here, because he does them every day, and it's pretty much 5 days a week, right? It's the same person that does them. You don't have the buildup of stickers on your dishes like you do everywhere else. You don't have the, he actually takes care and he cares about the dishes. So it's a good thing that he does them.
It's good too, because at some point, if you don't clean off one of the, I don't know what they're called, the thin amber trays, you eventually have to take a spatula and scrape that all off.
Right. So have you seen a sheet that looks like this before?
Yes.
Okay. So this is updated for 2025, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to hand it to you and just kind of go over a little bit of what a shift manager's responsibilities are. Either daily, because there are some daily things on here, or monthly, weekly. You're responsible for PACE KPIs, right? So do you know what PACE KPIs are?
I think so, but you might have to give me an example.
What do you think they are?
I think we did that for the, what was it? Trying to get my KVS under 60.
So KVS, so there's 5 KPIs. And KPI stands for key performance indicators. So if I were to look at these 5 things, I could tell if your store was running okay, right? I'd never have to come into the store. I just look at those 5 numbers and I can be like, store's running great. That is your OEP times, your receipt to present times, and your KVS times, okay? And this store right now has those down, right? You guys do a really good job. I did just give Josh a goal about getting your breakfast times down a little bit, because your lunch times are lower than your breakfast times.
Yeah.
There could be a couple explanations for that. You could be busier during breakfast than you are at lunch, because you guys are pretty slow. Is that a
There are certain hours, yes.
yeah?
There's some people I have to be I'm like,
Right.
hey, come on.
You have the same crew most of the time, right? And I guess you kind of do for lunch here as well, but that's a little bit why dinner is normally different. But your goal is 100, okay? 100 seconds.
What are we at right now?
113.
Okay.
Or that's what you were for the year, I should say, or last
Quarter.
So I think last quarter for breakfast. So was 113. So your goal is 100. And right now I actually think you're at that, because I think you're meeting everything right now for January. But last quarter you were at 113. So just push those OEP types in the morning. But otherwise, we've got KPIs down in the store, right? You guys, so when you take, and they don't look at just breakfast. When they look at KPIs, they look at the average peak, and your average peak is there, right? But just breakfast should be so easy to get, because they're very small orders, right? A sandwich,
especially with no or espressos.
Yeah, with no espresso.
On the weekends, it
Yes.
seems like people order more.
Yes,
though. That's
weekends. Yeah, no, weekends are higher, but during the week it should be very simple to
Yeah.
get under 100-second KPI or OEP times. So the other two KPIs are along with voice. Okay, so they're your voice score and your bottom two box. So if somebody's experienced a problem on voice, so you guys are doing an okay job right now. You guys are at 100%. You have like 18 surveys, so
Oh, yay.
yeah, you guys are doing a good job. But other months, like if you look at the whole last year, right, you have a little bit of work to do. But some of the thing comes from the fact that you guys know to look at your KPIs. So KPIs are right in front of you, right? They're right there. But voice isn't right there. So some things that you guys can work on in the store to improve those voice scores are the quality of the food that's coming out of your kitchen. And I know breakfast, you guys with Tim and Dan, you pretty much have pretty good quality. But watching the quality of your food, and then the friendliness. The friendliness, right? Those are good ones, right? Because a lot of times when people complain, it's because somebody was rude to them or their food wasn't made right, right? If they wait a long time and everybody was nice and their food was fine, they don't normally complain, right? And according to what we have, they're not waiting, right? They're not waiting in your store for food.
And there
So-
was one issue. I was trying to call for stock, but apparently my person that was in window went wherever. Someone was waiting. I was like, I apologize for that. That's my fault. And I told the person
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yep, just letting them know. So you have KPIs, pre-shifts and floor plans, which I think you do well at, right? Pre-shifts and floor plans, good. Then there's second side of prep table, which we don't really worry about here. Pull forward, which your pull forward is low,
Yeah.
but your times are fine. So maybe that could be something to get that 100-second, but I wouldn't put too much stock into that.
Whatever meeting I was a part of, I was listening to everybody's what you just talked about, and like Hill Roads is a little too high. Ours needed to be a little bit higher, but
Yeah.
they're saying that breakfast, like what you were just saying, get them
Right.
out fairly quickly.
Yeah. The other thing on here is that's new this year that she added is digital execute as designed. Do you know what that means?
No.
It means two things. They're asking if they're using the app and they're using the name. Okay, so you want to make sure when you're running the floor you have a headset on. It's even involved on counter too that you're listening, and I don't think they have too much of a problem, but just so you know that they're asking for that. Then that you're setting daily targets, shift cleanliness, daily food safety, not new, and then your individual development, and that you're ready for any third-party visits if you're here, right?
Yeah.
Food safety visits, shops, and then your attendance. So those are easy. There is one thing on here that I just want to point out that you're responsible for, and everybody in the store is responsible for. It's a safe and respectful workplace, okay? So with the whole situation with Grace, you said you like tune it out if she's yelling at you, but a way just to tip and just, from me working at McDonald's a long time and working with people, you could have walked up to here and been like, listen, Grace, can we just go sit down and talk about this because everybody's listening. And then at that point, if she would have been like, no, and I started screaming, then you've done all of you could do, right? But just asking her, can we have this conversation privately really quick so that we can figure it out?
Yeah.
Sometimes that just will help with her. She might have been like, okay, and then you could have figured it out. But that's just a tip. All right, I'm gonna hand this to you.
Yay.
Do anything else?
Just when you're running the shift, take charge of the shift.
Yeah.
Like Skylar telling you she can't do this.
Yeah.
When she transferred here, she said she could.
Yeah, so the first day she tried to say that she didn't know how and that she lied. And then like today she tried to not go towards the grill. I'm like, you're the grill person today. She was trying to do my teas. I'm like, you're the grill person.
Yeah, and it's hard, right? Because
Yeah.
she was a manager, now she's not a manager. But again, like Josh said, take charge. You're the leader in this store, right? You're wearing that shirt because you have to be a leader, so you have to show those leadership skills, which are again, being directive without being a bitch, right? I guess that's the way to do it, right? That's the way to do it, right? Being directive, knowing, because if you do things, and I had the same problem, everybody had the same problem, but if you do things like what Josh said, like you're like, you're, you know, I don't know. Did you tell her, you know, you're on table, not on tees, or was it just kind of like pushing her, you know, just
Like
being
that
more direct?
first day, I'm like, hey, you're grilled. Like, no, I don't know how. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, the one time I'd be okay, and then talk to Josh and be like, listen, I know you know how to do grill, right?
Yeah.
You're not gonna walk all over me. I'm sorry that, you know, even if it's just pull it, you know, on here, I'm sorry that you're not a manager anymore, but I am. If you don't like the way that I'm handling it, this and this, but you told Josh you do grill, you're at grill. Because if you don't have a backbone, they're gonna walk all over you.
Oh no, that's why today I was like, hey, what you doing? You're grilled today.
Yeah.
And, like, if she still doesn't want to do it, tell her to go home.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So I am allowed to do it, but like, hey, go. The one time, there's been a couple times
You
where I've
all
done-
are allowed to send somebody home for not doing what you're telling them.
Yeah.
There's been a couple times with Zane where I'm like, I can clock you out on the computer if you don't go. Because he would not do nothing. It was just,
Yeah. This is my floor. I'm sorry that you feel that it's not running the way it is, but this is how I'm running it today.
yeah.
If you don't want to be part of that,
That means you have to open late or do something else. Just let me or her know.
because you do it 1 or 2 times, you're never gonna have to do it again.
There was one Sunday, we were talking about Logan, he was trying to find a ride. I did have to do everything, but the only thing I couldn't get done was like bacon and like muffins and bagels. Like I got the basics of everything done, got everything temped, and yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Just kind of working on it, but
yeah.
all right.
And make sure, you, like, when someone comes in, if it's still your floor, tell them where they're going. Just communicate with them.
Yeah.
Have that communication.
Like, because Melissa asked, am I good to go? And I think technically it was Josh's floor. Or it was like really close to 10. So it's like kind of a thin line. Like, do I tell her she's okay to go or does he tell her?
If she's out at 10, it's your...
I mean, you're still a manager whether you're not, right?
Yeah,
You
yeah,
say
yeah.
you're out. Just you could a conversation with that would be like, you know, it's you just and he should say it too because if he's not sure, right? If you have anything else to do, yeah, I'm good with everything that you have to do. Just check with Josh really quick.
Yeah, I did say to her, I was like, well, did you get everything done you're supposed to? Yeah. I think you're good to go.
And about stocking inventory and all that, have one of the crew do it. Don't have to ask them to do it. Tell them to do it.
No, that's what I did today. Like I had Tim, he wasn't doing anything at the time. I was like, hey, if you're not doing anything, can you like put some of the lunch in? I did have Kaylin today, like go over and make sure everything's filled for lunch. I did have somebody did do sauces because I did tell Zane and Sebastian. One of them did do it.
So what night crew does is they put the employees' names and they put a list of things they have to do. So if that's something you have to do, and then if they don't do it, then it's different. Press the key, it'll pop up.
So basically, like give them tasks for the day, like I did before.
Yeah.
Okay, because I did do
Stocking,
that before.
And if they have
I
problems
miss the old days with the dry erase boards that would have numbers like 1 through 10 on it, and then and they would be like, oh, this is your position, this is your position. Then you'd put fill ice, sweep, mop.
So, would there be a way for me to come in early to like even do a pre-shift so I could do all that?
In the morning,
Yeah.
not unless somebody was coming in early with you.
Okay.
But you can prepare for. I mean, if you're giving tasks are you doing your pre-shift the day not pre-shift your floor plan the day before?
No.
So do that.
Okay.
Do your floor plan the day before, then you know who you have, and you can do secondary tasks at that point.
Okay. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that is on the next one.
So if you take like 15 minutes after food safety,
Okay.
Yeah.
you can set yourself up for the next morning.
Okay.
I'm good.
Okay. You good? And then I'll just take a picture of the card.
Tell Logan to come in.
Huh?
Tell Logan to come in.
Logan. Where is Logan?
Don't walk that way. It's back there. So.
Because I was going to ask him to help me with muffins and bagels because I had to move all the carts out. My fingers were all red. Okay.